explore the issues for the losing teams on Sunday. We're going to start with the Commanders' surprising loss to the Cowboys. That was a crazy game. The Dallas pressure got to Jayden Daniels on Sunday. He went just 2 of 6 for 6 yards and 2 interceptions when pressured, and he only threw for 55 yards when blitzed. Over the first 9 weeks of the season, Daniels led the NFL in QBR under pressure, but since he ranks last, Hawk, what went wrong for Daniels?
I mean, there's a bunch of execution problems for the Washington Commanders, and what they do on third down is a microcosm of what has been the reality for their offense over the last 3 games. 12 of 38, which is bottom 4 in the NFL, and there's a bunch of reasons for it. There's Daniels missing throws at times, like Ertz in the red zone. There's also times when the offensive line is giving up pressure, even when they have guys open down the field. And lastly, there's separation issues from receivers at other times where they're just not making the plays. They have to get it figured out soon and get back on track to the way they were at the beginning half of the season.
For the Texans, it was a...
Yeah, I really wanted to talk about this and highlight this a little bit more deeply. I think there's a few things that are really kind of going against the Washington Commanders right now. And unfortunately, because since Jayden Daniels had such early levels of success and incredibly high levels, right, literally historic, now that they're not winning and things have kind of come back down to earth a little bit, there's so much of this extra heat on this team. And I really think people are losing perspective. And that's why I wanted to highlight what he had to say. And obviously it was a quick diagnosis, but Hawk was incredibly high on Jayden Daniels and what the Washington Commanders have been doing, calling him kind of, an elite passer already of the ball and all of that, and saying that he has, elite game management as well as game breaking abilities. And I think that's accurate. I think that's still very accurate. But what people still seem to forget is who the Washington Commanders were supposed to be going into this season. They were not a good team last year at all. It's not like they were just a quarterback away or a coach away. They were an absolute awful, awful, awful team. Poorly coached, no culture, no quarterback, no nothing, bad O-line. I mean, we can just go down the list. They were an awful team by all accounts. So the fact that they've even turned this around to be 7-5 overnight is remarkable. But to think that there's not going to be any hiccups along the way, they haven't even had their bye yet. They're a little banged up. I mean, they're a lot banged up. I mean, they've had both their running backs going in and out of the lineup. You're having Jayden Daniels obviously getting banged up, still also being a rookie quarterback. You're starting to rely now on some older players to kind of carry this load, like an Ertz, who's obviously at the end of his career. So you're asking a lot from this team that under normal circumstances you just wouldn't be. Right? First new coach for this team, new coordinator, new players, new quarterback, aging veterans who are at the last leg of their career, and expecting them to just be top level, top contender, it's unrealistic. I was talking to someone in the comment section the other night, and they were like, you have to just admit that Jayden Daniels is not good and a bust or whatever. And I'm like, what? That's not the conclusion of this stretch of games. Jayden Daniels is still a top quarterback in the NFL, even just ranking via PFF. Has he been perfect these last few weeks? Absolutely not. But even if you just look at his overall season and his rankings, he's still been top. He still shows amazingly great moments, even in bad games. And in a lot of ways, that's what you're kind of looking for out of a rookie quarterback. Obviously, you want to see someone hit the ground running and be great start to finish. But even in these up and down rocky games, to still be able to see signs of greatness, of eliteness, goes an incredibly long way. Because you see plenty of quarterbacks, just watch backup quarterbacks play, and it all depends on the type of backup quarterback that they are. But we've seen plenty of backup quarterbacks, or just rookies for that matter, have many, many games where they don't even show a moment of special. And we obviously see that all the time with Jayden Daniels. And again, Hawk earlier in this show, with nothing to do with Jayden Daniels and the Commanders, talked about how it takes years for these quarterbacks to develop, years to be able to master the field and understand the type of throws that you need to make, when and where. It takes this is not an overnight project. But because Jayden Daniels was so special so early on and really doing some insane, mind-numbingly things, everyone just thought, well, you can just keep putting this whole team on his back and he's just going to find a way. And then for some reason, we then consider that greatness. And so if you don't do that in a game, it means you're not great. It means you're not special. And that's just objectively not true. It just doesn't make that just doesn't make any sense. Zero. None. No doubt about it. So that's why I wanted to kind of not even really unpack this game specifically, but this is where a few things are happening. When you're a rookie quarterback, you need your team to support you at all costs. You can't put it all on your rookie quarterback. You just can't. It's too much. It's too much of a burden. So the way how we've seen some of these games unfold now is that Jayden Daniels is going to be a rookie. He's going to miss some throws, which is to be expected. But then the O-line is collapsing on him, making his job even harder. And then when he does hit his receivers or something, they won't make a play. They'll drop the ball, whatever it may be, fumble. They lose the run game. And then you're expecting your quarterback to be able to overcome all this. And it's just not going to happen. And that's what I praised when they brought in, Malik Willis for the Packers. I praised the Packers because they had the backup quarterback in there now. And when you watch those games that he played, you could see the team really, really stepped up. The wide receivers, the O-line, the run game, they stepped up. They were making plays for their backup quarterback. That's what you need with the same thing with the rookie quarterback. You need your players, your seasoned veterans to step up and make plays for your rookie quarterback. And if they're not making those plays, then you're actively hurting your rookie quarterback. So then when your rookie quarterback has his rookie moments, misses a throw, holds on the ball for too long, misreads the defense, whatever it may be, it all compounds and gets even worse. And now it's like, oh God, this is a disaster. He can't get anything going. And that's when you start to get a cloudy picture of the reality of the situation. And the reality of the situation is that this Washington Commanders team have been punching a bunch above their weight this season. Being 7-5 is remarkable. It really is. And so now when they show some of the issues of actually who they are as a team, it's like, oh, can you believe this? Or this is what's going wrong for them. This is bad. Jayden bad. Cliff bad. Quinn bad. Whoever bad. And it's like, this is who the team was. This was always a really difficult project. Always. This was never about being easy. And I get it. Losing to the Cowboys in this fashion was definitely an ugly win against a backup quarterback, right? If it was Dak Prescott and stuff like that, you would be able to justify it significantly more. So I feel like that's why it's a divisional game. The way how just the fourth quarter obviously unfolded at this point, everyone knows, going up against Cooper Rush. I think that maybe kind of emphasizing, and the Commanders were favored by so much, 10 plus or so, that it then kind of made this even seem like a bigger negative than I think in reality that it was. Again, it was obviously not ideal, far from ideal, but we just have to put in perspective who this team is. The Chicago Bears last season, going into this season, a lot of people said this defense is elite. They have some weapons. They even drafted another weapon or so. They are just a quarterback away from being competitive. And in fact, where they drafted was not actually even their spot. It was, a trade. So they're actually a lot better than what their record even shows. That's not what the Commanders were. The Commanders needed to revamp everything. They had to completely clean house. So this was always a huge work in progress. Huge. This was a project that they needed to really get to it. And people need to kind of stop losing sight of that, because it's kind of making people jump to the wrong conclusions. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders, and how this season has been unfolding, and kind of what's been going wrong for them? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.